Hey everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin video. This is another unorthodox Sunday afternoon video. It is March the 8th, 2020. As always, this is all live. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I am simply giving my opinion on the market and yeah, all that good stuff. And of course, if you're a first-time joiner on these videos, what I want to do is I want to just invite you to our Discord server. It's a free-to-use community where we just like to have a lot of really great conversations, and I think we've really been hitting it out of the park here lately. Hey Brian, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. We're going to kind of take a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the drop, and if you're new, you may not know that we've been expecting this for a while. I've been modeling this for quite some time, and so we were rather prepared for a drop like this. And so what now we have to kind of face ourselves with is what comes next? What comes next? So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into things here. We're taking a look at Bitcoin. I'm looking at it on an hourly, and I'm going to start on an hourly. I'm going to start zoomed in here. I'm going to zoom in on the current price action and just talk about potential bottoms, right? All right, so I'm on an hourly, and if you're familiar with this, you know that my indicator on an hourly chart, the green is the 1 hour and the yellow is the 3 hour. I mean, our yellow is down here below 10. And the green 1 hour is, it's sitting there right around 20, but the 3 hour is pretty low right now. It would not surprise me one bit for us to just continue moving sideways for a while. So what I have to try and see is what kind of account are we actually looking at right now? Because what I think I see is, let me just go ahead and outline this because I haven't really outlined this quite yet. So from up here, what I think I see is a 1 and a 2, and then we're working on a 3. I actually don't think the 3 is done yet. And then we're going to go up for a 4 and then a 5. All right. So what this means, on a 1, 2, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go to the 3. How low this goes, we really won't know. But then what we would be expecting to see, pulling out our Fibonacci, and this is how charts get so messy. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. My charts are absolutely atrocious. They make sense to me, but they don't make sense to a lot of people. So let's say we go down to 8,100, which we don't know how far down we're going to go. I assume this is going to be a 3. We're likely going to do a wave 4 up here to about 8,400, and then we're going to see that last leg down and more confluence here. More confluence down here at the 7,900 level. And again, this green box, I've been talking about this green box for a long time. This is obviously extended out a little ways. Again, we've got a 1, 2, so I'm going to move this to a higher degree so it's easier to kind of separate. I don't like that. Let's move this up to there. That's a little better. All right, so we've got a 1, 2 working on the 3. I don't think the 3 is done, and then a 4, and then we're going to go down for the 5. Now, we can kind of take a guess as to where this is likely going to go. If this is the 2, we go down for the 3. This could potentially spike up to about 83, 90, 8,400, and then we're going to come down here to 8,025, maybe just 8,000. It would not surprise me one bit for us to come down to 8,000. Everybody thinks this is all over and we're going to be going up to the moon, where in fact we will more than likely go up here to about 8,400, get rejected again, and then we complete the wave down here at about 7,900. Again, we're looking at 7,900, we're looking at 7,916, we're looking down here even at 7,850. We're watching for all of these things to kind of finish themselves out. Because again, what I actually think we're in, from right up here, we've got more than likely a 1, a 2, I'm just making it real rough here, 3, and we came almost back to the 382. But somewhere in here, this is going to be a wave 4, and then we're going to complete wave 5 on a smaller degree. And I'm going to go to my minuscule for this. It matches, it works out pretty well. Again, looking for ourselves to come down here to the 8,000 level potentially to finish out this wave. If we do happen to come right down here to that algo target, Our retrace is probably only going to come back to about 83.60. High probability for a wave 4 is going to be back to the 382, and then we're going to come down here for the algo target. This takes us all the way down here to 78.25. We really don't know where the bottom is going to be. We don't really know where the top is going to be, all of that. We just try and make some educated guesses. Let me just take a stroll back here into memory lane for a moment. When we were all the way back here, and I don't know exactly when it was I was talking about this, but I was harping, you guys. I was saying, hey, you should probably think about taking profit. You should probably think about taking profit. You can go back to my videos from early February, and I was saying, and I was pleading with all of you, hey, there's no harm in paying yourself. Hey, you guys, no harm in paying yourself. We have just gone up a significant amount. You should probably pay yourself. And maybe you guys did, maybe you didn't, it's all water under the bridge now. But what we were seeing back here, we were seeing the 1 hour, the 3 and the 12 hour over in overbought conditions. Happened again right here. Everything was in overbought conditions. And, the first time we saw it and we were talking about it, it went down pretty significantly. It didn't finish, it didn't continue going. It spiked up. And this is to generate the, that market psychology that, oh my goodness, that was a buy the dip, so I need to buy. Well, what ended up happening? You guys, all right, so obviously we've gone down, significantly since then. But nonetheless, now we are approaching that area where we need to start buying. And I guess if you guys are in the Discord, you already know this. I've already started nibbling. I have already started buying, and I have my bids going all the way down here to this level where we've got all of these memes just kind of flowing in with each other. It's very possible we take this all the way down to 8,000. Very, very possible we go down to 8,000. I would expect there to be a significant bounce there, but I don't think that we will be done. I don't think that we'll be done on that bounce. Okay, let me just clean this up because it looks absolutely awful. You guys are probably making fun of me right now because the chart looks so terrible. But you've got to have these things in here so that you can see where you're going, because like I was always told, if you don't know where you're at, then you don't know where you're going. So we know that we had the rejection here right around above the 382 but below the 50. We know that we had that rejection, and the algo target for this is going to be down here at 79.98, which is going to be right at 8,000. So we know that that's an algo target that we have to pay attention to, which is where I'm expecting the bottom of this 3 to go. Then we're going to be seeing this move back up here based on this wave. Okay, so based on the start of wave 2 to the end of wave 3, we're going to do the retrace potentially up here, and this would be a perfect place to reject as well. And the reason why this would be a great place to reject on the way back up is because people talk about bearish retest. This is perfect for us to pull back up here to 8,400. That would be a perfect pullback. Okay, so a couple things that you guys need to be paying attention to is the 12 hour. The 12 hour crossed on this bright bloody red candle right here. This is where we had the 12 hour cross bearish. So that should have been the first indication that, hey, you know what, you guys, we're probably going to be selling off a little more. The fact that it had broken market structure, which is this rising wedge that everybody was paying attention to, and then we had the 12 hour cross, this should have been another indication that we are likely going to be moving down. And we did with force. Now we're starting to fall again. We're probably going to flag here for a few more hours. We're going to get the market open, which is probably going to dump into the weekly close, because the weekly is going to look awful. I'm going to look at the weekly here in a different time frame, or sorry, a different exchange here in a moment, just to keep things nice and clean. But again, I expect us to come somewhere down here. Then we're probably going to retrace to about 8,400. Probably going to see some resistance there. Then we'll go back down to reload, and this is going to take time, guys. I highly doubt we're going to see us coming down here below 8,000 within the next few days. I think this is probably going to take some time, and I'm just going to be, kind of guessing that this 3 and this 5, or the 5th of the 3rd down here, again, we're looking at this move down here to about 8,000, is probably going to take maybe a couple days. We'll have to see what comes. We know that there is going to be a monster gap on CME futures. So we know that we're going to be expecting that to close. And I actually do believe it's going to happen. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen, and it may just be that it happens on Monday for all we know. We don't really know what's going to happen. Again, I'm nibbling. I have a long position that has already started to be opened, and I have probably 70% of the position that I want to be long is still waiting with bids down here. I have a small long position up here. I've got larger bids down here because ultimately I am expecting us to come down here, but in the event that this gets front ran, I don't want to be caught in no position. So I would much rather be in a small position than no position and just trying to catch that upward move because, listen, we are going to move up. I do not think we're going to be going to all-time highs, but once we do finish this accumulation phase down here, I do believe we are going to be creating what would appear to be an accumulation phase where we're going to be having basically, let me just outline this. So we've got this, we're going to move down here, we're going to have this automatic rally, then we're going to have a move down for accumulation, then we're going to have a spring, and then we're going to have this last point of support. It's all going to happen. Your last point of support is going to be here, and then we're going to be moving up. I'm not going to say that's exactly how this is going to happen, but I do fully believe that we're going to have your selling climax, you're going to have an automatic rally, you're going to have the spring down here, you're going to have your last point of support, and then you're going to have your reaccumulation above the prior low, which was back here on the bottom of wave 3. You're going to be accumulating above 8,400, and then you're going to see that move up, and it's going to be moving higher, guys. I'm not going to tell you how far it's going to go because I don't want to look like an idiot 2 months down the road when I'm wrong, because I can be wrong. So I don't want to give you some undue hope that this thing is going to be moving to all-time highs, because one, it's not, and two, I don't want to give you some targets that we really can't predict because we don't know where the bottom pivot is going to be. When we get a pivot, then we'll talk about what those targets are going to look like. But for right now, we do not have a pivot. It is going to move lower more than likely based on what I can see here, especially with the 12-hour crossing down into the neutral zone. So I would expect the 12-hour to come down, and again, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for the 1 hour, the 3 on the 12-hour, all being in oversold conditions at the same time, preferably, like we had right here. All three were in oversold conditions at the exact same time here at 8,400, and then you had an opportunity to get out of that position at about 9,200. You had several opportunities to get out at about 91.75, 1, 2, 3, and then that fourth time, major rejection. Okay, that was the completion of the 4. That was the completion of the A, B, C, the 5, 3, 5, A, B, C, and now we're going to be moving down to finish up this 5. All right, guys. That is Bitcoin on the short-term 1 hour chart. Let's go to a different time frame here on a different exchange, one that's got a lot less garbage on it. Let's take a look and see what has happened. Now, obviously, we've had this low here. Okay, so let's move all the way down here to the bottom, try and get as close as we can to 31.35, get as high as we can up here. Okay, guys, so we've broken down here to the 50. We still haven't gotten down to the 618. Now, we don't have to go there. We absolutely don't have to go there. And it is very possible that this is a 1-2. Okay, now if this is a 1-2, let's pull out Fibonacci again and get from this pivot low right here. Let me try and tag that down there at the very bottom, and we're going to go as close to the top as possible that we have here. All right, so as of right now, we're sitting on the 50, and I'm on a log scale. If I go to a linear scale, we're closer to the 618. We're still not quite there yet. Let's just see here, zooming in, pull this down. Okay, we always talk about the 50 being our friend. Well, on a linear scale, the 50 was our friend. We had a good rally off of it, and now we are trying to come back down here to the 618. And the 618, just take a look at it. You know, we're talking about these targets, and it's not a coincidence. 618 on a linear scale is at 79.82. It's at 8,000. And the 65, so if we're going to be creating a golden pocket, right? If we're going to be creating a golden pocket, let's take a look at this. Right here in this zone is going to be our golden pocket. We are going to be expecting to move into that zone, and I would fully expect there to be significant buying pressure waiting there. Okay, again, what we're looking at here, we're looking at an A, a B, and then we're finishing the C, in my opinion. It is a big, long, atrocious C, but I do believe we are going to come back down here into this zone. Now, where we go from there, on a golden zone rejection, if we're looking to be rejected here off of the golden zone, so we're going to take our pitchfork, we're going to go down here to the bottom, we're going to project from the top, and then we're going to pull down. Now, we don't know where this is going to land, but let's just say that it happens on March 15th. If it happens on March 15th, we're going to change this to a regular pitchfork. And you have an 80% probability, and you've probably heard this on other channels as well, you have an 80% probability of hitting the median line, which is going to be right here. So depending on how long this takes, it could be that happens in April, would not surprise me one bit for us to see 12 to 13,000 again. It would not surprise me one bit for us to come back up there. Now, let's just see, is that meaningful in any way? So let's pull out Fibonacci one more time, and I promise I'll wrap this up. I'm going a little long on this, but let's take this from the top to the bottom and see where we have potential here. We've got right here, we have the 618 sitting here at 11,000. It would not surprise me one bit because I am expecting a green April, you guys. I am expecting a green April. The 618 to the 65 right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here, and maybe someday I'm going to come back over to this chart and I'm going to see this and I'm going to say, okay, well, you know what? I ended up being right on this. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm expecting this to go up into this zone. I do expect it to come up here. And it would not surprise me for this to come back up here. So obviously what we have seen, and everybody's been talking about this, and I'm not going to rehash all of this, but from up here, we've got an easy W, and then we've got an X, and then we've got a Y, and then an A, B, C into an X, and then we come down to our target, which is going to freak a lot of people out. It's going to freak a lot of people out, but I do think that it is very possible we come back down to 5,500. So what do we have? What do we have? We have the 12-hour, which is looking absolutely terrible. I do think it's going to take some time, but if we do come back down here to this range, this would be a perfect place to bounce. And why would it be a perfect place to bounce? Look at all of this support that we have, you guys. So much support right here. Okay, we have support. We fell through and a monster support there. We broke below it, closed below it, resistance. We broke above it, support. And when we come back to it, I expect this to be support, potentially front ran. This is where I'm expecting a bounce, and I've already given you the reasons why. This is where I'm expecting the rejections, and I've just given you the reasons why. And once we get a pivot up there, then we'll see how deep we can go. But I do think that it is still possible we go back down to 5,500. I reserve the right to change my mind because this is just my opinion. I don't know what the market is going to do. I don't know what the market is going to do in the next 4 or 5 months. This is just what I'm expecting it to do. Again, I could be completely wrong. All right, well, we've got 13 people on the line here. And, if you're all new watchers, thanks for joining. And if you're not subscribed, and I know 48% of you are not, just hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. And if you want to be a part of our Discord, just throw in a comment in the comments here in the YouTube chat. Be more than happy to get an invite code for you. I will be in the Discord doing analysis on stocks, doing analysis on bonds, oil, precious metals. It is hopping in the traditional channel this past week. People with crazy, crazy gains. We are very conservative. We are very careful. We are calculated in how we play our stock market. So if you want to be part of that too, just join our Discord. That's all I'm going to say there. And if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe. You're welcome, Jagan. Yeah, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay away from others. Don't shake hands, don't sneeze on people. Masks they're more than likely worthless, but if they make you feel good about yourself, then go ahead and wear them. But be careful out there because this virus is going to spread. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to leave this live. I'm going to go ahead and put an invite here to the Discord so that if you are interested, you may go ahead and join. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And again, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening. There is the invite code for the Discord.